the good and bad news about seminars versus training. So I do the seminars, so you can just take the seminars. The seminars are $397 a month for 3 months for both seminars, and that's all you get. You get the seminars. That's it. And there's good news and bad news about that. The next step is the seminars and the training. And here's the difference. That we do the seminars, but we also include one-on-one with me. We also include one-on-one phone calls with me to get you over $100,000 in 90 days. It also includes live webinars every Tuesday. And basically, you have a free line to call me. You can call me anytime you want with anything personal injury related. So it's geared to get you past. And so if I had to say what's the difference of one versus other, is of the 4 stages of learning from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. That's what seminars do. Seminars, books, seminars, and tapes get you from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. Now you know something, but you don't have the ability to do it. That's what books, seminars, and tapes do. And so how many people buy books, seminars, and tapes, read the books, watch the seminars, and then they can't do it? And the number one reason, and I said this, that it typically doesn't get done is because of the fear of rejection, unfamiliar. And the reason is it's the second highest factor in life is security. Well, security is a tremendous driving force to get you to do something. It's the second highest driving after your physiological needs. So it's great as a motivator. Well, just as strong as a motivator it is to get you to do something when you don't have security, it's just as strong to inhibit you, to stop you from doing something that's unfamiliar, because unfamiliarity defies security. And the very thing that helps you to a certain point now becomes a massive inhibiting factor. Now there's ways to get through that. I know there's many ways to get through that. Most people never understand it or get through it. So that's what the training does. The training helps to get you through, not just to know about personal injury, not just to be aware of it, but it actually gets you to the conscious competence phase where you can start doing it clumsily, you can start doing it, but then you get better and better and better to where you get to be a black belt. And that's the difference training makes. And it's not just in personal injury. What I just told you has to do with everything in life. I tell you, because of what I know and learned in life, I only do one thing when I want to learn something now. I only do one thing. I do the most effective thing there is. You know what that is? Mentoring with training. Mentoring with training. That's the only thing I pay for and do. Because it's the fastest, quickest way to get from point A to point B. Mentoring with training. You can do mentoring, and they could only take you to conscious incompetence, right? It's the training component with mentoring. And now when I say mentoring, I'm talking about somebody who has done it or is doing it. I don't listen to anybody, because everybody has an opinion on how to do something. There's plenty of people who tell you how to be a millionaire. Plenty. Plenty of people tell you how to be successful. Plenty. I don't listen to any of them. Unless what I want to learn, and I typically go for number one. As an example, I wanted to learn I just bought a sailboat. I don't know how to sail. Did that stop me from buying a sailboat? No, because I understand stair stepping and mentoring and training. So what did I already know I was going to do? I was going to hire a mentor, a one-on-one mentor to come out on my sailboat and tell me and show me, so it can be experiential. Repetitive experiential. How important is repetitive experiential in the learning process? It's phenomenal. I'll tell you, I told you earlier, I said there's 3 reasons why I was successful for opening 77 in offices in 20 states. Number 1, I know how to pick winners. I learned that from picking losers. Number 2 is I had good content. But I'll tell you right now, number 3 was the training. If I didn't know how to take somebody through 4 steps of training, if I didn't know how to take them from awareness, from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence, to conscious competence to unconscious competence in the core components of business, educational sales and patient retention and management. If I did not have that ability, I would no way have been able to be that successful. Training was that important. And then I'll tell you one of the things that actually bothered me when I started doing seminars again, because you remember I was a trainer. I was hands-on training doctors. They came in my office for 6 months. So I was used to making quick changes fast, creating radical results fast. You know, we could get a doctor to know how to get new educational sales in 30 days. And then we could get them to know patient retention in 30 days. Well, that's 2/3 of a practice right there. That's the most important part of a practice. I could do it in 30 days, fast, because I knew the cycles of training. And I got to tell you, one of the most disappointing things to me when I started back and started doing seminars and stuff, well, guess what happens when everybody started leaving my seminars? They wouldn't do jack. They wouldn't do this, they wouldn't do this, they wouldn't. I'm like, and so guess what happened to the results? They were crap for results. You've been a client long enough. You were with me when I shifted and I added the workshops. You remember? You were a client before I did the workshops.
Right.
And why did I start doing the workshops?
People needed to have it.
Because I was pissed that people were just doing the seminars and I wasn't seeing the results. Why? Because they were only going to conscious incompetence phase. They were stopping the process because of all the fears, familiarity, resistances, all that stuff that stop us in life. And it got me mad. It took more of my time. In other words, for me to do workshops, that was not a good business maneuver. In other words, for me to spend more of my time, because, you know, part of business is do less and make more. But it got me mad. And I said, screw it. I said, because I wanted the results. You know? I said, I'm doing workshops. I'm doing small workshops. We started doing patient retention workshops, and what happened?
Went up.
How quick?
Very quick.
Bam! He was a classic example. He just did the seminars and videos. Didn't do anything with patient retention for 6 months. Nothing. Nothing. Came to the workshop. In other words, he was trained. We took him from the conscious incompetence to the conscious competence. And what happened? Night and day. Night and day compared to the previous 6 months. Night and day. And he came back to the second time again, and he was actually good. I'm like, damn, that's pretty good. Remember? He came back and he was the best in the group. I'm like, damn, that was pretty good. But you know what it told me? He's sitting here right here today. How many times have you been to this seminar?
Second or third.
This is the second or third. He came to the patient retention seminar the second time. Winston's doing pretty good. Winston's doing pretty good. See, he didn't stop at that conscious incompetence phase. And then, of course, part of, you know, the training is big. Training is huge. I mean, I just tell you, it's just amazing. Training is major. So, the personal injury training includes not just a one-on-one with me for the first 90 days, phone calls anytime, but it's a live interaction every Tuesday, and we'll do breakdown analysis. How much do we learn? How much do we learn by listening to webinars and reinforcing and redoing and cleaning up stuff? How much do we learn in 3 to 6 months of webinars live compared to just coming in and doing a seminar and leaving? Big difference. Big difference. That's why I say I don't do anything where it's just a seminar and walk out. Everything I do, because I understand the learning cycle. I understand how it works. Because it applies to me too. I won't do it. If I just go to a seminar and walk out, there's a good chance I won't even do it. I'm like, nope. I'm going to spend the money. And it'll be more money. But what do I also know if I don't do it? It'll cost me more, or I'll never be able to do that activity. I already know I won't do selling on my own. I already know how it works. But if I hire a mentor, book it, and pay him the fee, guess what? I'm going to learn how to sell. I've already done that. I've already started the whole process. I was willing to cut the check, put the time. And that's why I'm learning to sell. I would never have done it on my own. And it's happening fast. And it's happening fast. So that's the big difference between training and a seminar. That's most people can relate to that, because most people have been to a seminar and then they're like, oh, it's great stuff, and then they never use it. By the way, that happens in a lot of topics, like in real estate. People buy a real estate course, you know, the videos or whatever, they'll watch it, they'll never buy one piece of real estate. They'll go to the seminar, they'll never buy one piece of real estate. That training is unbelievable. When I say training, what I mean, get to the conscious competence phase of whatever it is you're trying to learn. If you can get over that challenge of security and familiarity, get to the conscious competence phase where there's some comfort. You're not good at it, but there's comfort. You're not afraid anymore to do it again. That is the key to, like everything, get to that conscious competence phase. So that's the difference. The training, the only difference is the cost is the same. It's $397, but it's 18 months. That's all. It's, in other words, you get trade. And so the big difference that I say is if you just want a few more PI patients, do the seminars. If you want a lot of PI patients and increase your business over $100,000, $250,000 or $1 million, that's training. You're not going to increase your business over $100,000, $200,000 by taking a seminar and going home. The chances of that are slim to none. But they're real strong with training and support. It's real strong. So, having said that, what would you say about the difference between just a seminar and the training relative to personal injury?
It's too much information to digest. We had a seminar, got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you guys are finding that out. How much information has there been in the last day and a half? It's too much. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. What else would you say about the difference in the training, the PI seminars versus the including the training?
The training, you learn way more because you actually critique things that you teach here, and we go apply it, then you critique it. And to me, I learned more on the first webinar critique that paid for more than 18 months.
Yeah. And it's not just a critique. I'll take one topic in a seminar and I'll do a huge in a webinar, I'll take one topic and I'll do a huge deep dive. I can't do a deep dive in a seminar with every topic. I got to just kind of cover it, fluff, and go. That's the difference it makes. Anyway, go ahead.
I just want to make a comment. I mean, that's one PI patient, maybe two is what you're charging.
Yeah, I explained that to doctors, but they don't understand that. If your case average is $3,000, that's one, it's like one PI patient a year.
Yeah.
That's the cost.
Do you have a 2019 schedule? Right.
Here's how this works. The seminars are every 6 months, and I do them on the East Coast and West Coast. So 6 months from now, we'll be doing them again. And then I do marketing and documentation. This is marketing, so 6 months from now, we'll be doing documentation. But you don't have to wait for the seminars. I have pre-recorded videos and everything, and the webinars are continuous and ongoing. You want to be a black belt, I just got to, like, what'd you hear Dave said? He increased his business $1 million. What did he say he did? Do you remember what he said he did? He attended every seminar, every webinar, and what did he say he did? When I covered it, he changed it. He did it. Every time I said do this, he went and did it. And every time he did a little step, little step, little step. 6 months later, he's over what, $300,000 or $400,000 a year later, $1 million. But you can do that with training and support. Most people with human nature won't do it with training and support because of what I just said. And then, oh, by the way, throw in getting around your negative colleagues that say it can't be done or they don't know how to do it. It's over. Just check out of life right now.